welcome to another edition of the Hitting the Crew podcast. It's your host, Jeremy Brener, and this is Hitting the Crew, the podcast where we get to dive deep and learn a little bit more about the people behind the scenes at Hitting the Field, UCF's student-run sports talk show at the Nicholson School of Communication and Media in Orlando, Florida, at the University of Central Florida. And today we are going down the memory lane of Miss Matison Little.
Hi.
Hello.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about myself for an
Yeah.
hour.
It's literally all about Matison Little for the next hour or so. So, are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready? That's the real question.
I mean, we're about to find out. So the way that I usually like to start these, I like to kind of go all the way back to the beginning. So, you know, did you grow up with siblings? How did you grow up? Where are you from? That kind of thing. Like, just, who are you in 30 seconds?
I'm from Stuart, Florida, which is just a little north of West Palm. Mm-hmm. I grew up with two sisters, one older, one younger.
So you're the middle child?
I'm the middle child, the best child.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up surrounded by sports. My whole family played either softball or baseball, and I was the odd one out, and I was a cheerleader. So,
ooh, black sheep of the family, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think that? So, how close are you with your sisters? Would you say? Are y'all like, you know, peas in a pod, or like is the age different? Like, how's that relationship like with your sisters?
Well, we're all 3 years apart. So my little sister is 2 years younger than me, and my older sister is 2 years older than me.
Okay.
Me and my older sister both go to UCF, or actually she just graduated from UCF, but we both live up here.
Go nice, charge on.
Charge on
Yep.
forever.
Mm-hmm.
We live together up here. We're best friends. Do everything together every day. It's
That's
fun
cute.
For the most part.
That's
it's
cute. And your sisters and your younger sisters in high school,
sister,
right?
Yeah, she's a senior in high school. She's a little different than me and my older sister. She is actually my cousin, so she's adopted.
Ah.
So she's just very different. You know, she's not as athletic. She's
whoa. You're just coming for folks. You're coming for folks. Dang.
She's just
ruthless.
She's very tiny and just artistic, and so she's different, but I love my little sister. Me and her get along a lot better than her and my older sister. We're very close. She'll tell me pretty much everything, but I do have to ask about it. So a little different because...
Well, talk about that. That's a bit of it. I mean, not a lot of people, you know, grow up with a cousin that becomes their sister. So talk a little bit about that dynamic and go as far into it as you want, or, you know, dial it in as little as you want. It's your podcast, your story, and it's up to you.
So my little sister is my second cousin. So my mom's cousin's daughter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think that's my second cousin.
Yeah.
But when she was born, her parents were just both in trouble with, like, just couldn't take care of her. So she lived with her great-grandparents. And her great-grandparents were 80 years old. And so obviously they had no business taking care of an infant. Yeah. And so when my little sister was 1.5, 2 years old, her great-grandmother, I call her my great-grandmother, fell and broke her hip. So then she was in rehab, and my great-grandfather was, like, starting to just go, like, Alzheimer's route. So they weren't really able to take care of her. Yeah. And so they wanted to send my little sister to live in Indiana with a foster family. And foster family, she's part of my family, but, like, not someone we were close with. It was just kind of like a distant, like...
It was like, oh, hey, I know some foster parents up in Indiana.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So my mom was like, no way, like, that's not happening. And we took her in when she was 2, so I was 4. She's been around my whole life. I mean...
Do you remember life without her as your sister?
No, I like to tell her I do when she aggravates me, but I don't. No, she's nothing less than my little sister. She's definitely... She calls my mom and dad mom and dad. She's my little sister, but she's my cousin.
That's cute. Yeah. I mean... I always think that the middle child of a family has a very unique a very unique part of the family because you're an older sister and a younger sister.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you know, I get both of those relationships in a way. So, I mean, did you like find yourself, like competing with your sisters in a way, or like was the age gap enough to where y'all didn't find yourself doing that kind of stuff? Or
I would say no. I mean, me and my older sister, well, actually my whole family at one point danced. Like we were in plays.
Dad too?
And yeah, Dad too. And yeah, we forced him to. So at that point I always excelled in dance, which is why I ended up in cheer, like just kind of, but we all have different strengths. My little sister's artistic, she's good with makeup, hair. Me, I'm good with cheer, and I was the smart, like, school-brained one. My older sister excelled in athletics. She played softball at UCF. Like, she was the athletic one, artistic ones, and then the brain. So, like, we all had different things going for us. Yeah, we fought sometimes, like sisters do, and we got jealous of each other at times because we're sisters. We're close in age. Like, it happens. But, like, we all had our different strengths, so I think that was, like, easy.
So what was your favorite activity doing growing up? Did you prefer dance? Like what was your like peak? This is like, I'm having so much fun with this right now. A moment while you were as a child.
Like a child, or like just before college?
Anytime.
So I danced from the time that I could walk until I was going into high school. So I was really good at dance, but I was always into like the acrobatic, like tumbling type of it. So then I went into cheer. And when I went into cheer my freshman year of high school, I got involved with school cheer, and one of the coaches for the girls weightlifting team was like, wow, come do girls weightlifting. And me and my older sister joined girls weightlifting, and that was like my favorite thing ever.
Wow.
Like, I love cheer, but girls weightlifting, it was like a free gym membership. Like, I got to, and I loved it.
Yeah, that's something I wouldn't have guessed about you, to be honest. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm 5th in state.
There you go. Matison, not so little.
Yeah.
But do you still lift?
No.
Do you even lift, bro?
No. I go to the gym, but like I don't lift to lift. I lift to not. Yeah. Or to be healthy.
I mean, that's a pretty unique skill set. I mean, you have a rather, I don't want to say masculine, but more of like a physical sport with weightlifting, and then cheer, which also brings its physical strength, but also is seen as very glitz and glamour. So you mix the glitz, the glamour with the, you know, hard, you know, weightlifting. How did that shape you in a way to do two things that are so couldn't really be very similar at all?
So surprisingly, they are, I would say, from experiencing both, they do have a lot of similarities, because when I cheered, I was a tumbler. So I did flips and stuff. I wasn't the girl on top of the pyramid. So that requires a lot of strength and endurance, and weightlifting helped me with that. But no, I'm definitely a girly girl. I'm a glitz and glam girl. I love dressing up or doing my makeup and hair for cheer, but I did that at weightlifting too. I was the girl that wore a bow in my hair to a weightlifting meet, and I was the only girl that wore a bow in my hair to a weightlifting meet. I wore pink socks with my, like I was always the girly girl. And I'm just, I don't know, just. Yeah.
No, something that I love to do is breaking stereotypes. I love doing that. And I'm very much, you and I are the same in the fact that we break stereotypes all the time. Because, like, you know, we haven't talked about your weightlifting career, but glitz and glamour, Miss Thang, you're in a dress right now, like, or is this not a dress?
I'm definitely wearing shirts and shirt and pants.
Well, okay, a nice shirt and pants.
Yes, but I am in a dress sometimes.
Okay, yes. So, like, it's very different from that part. How much pride do you take in, like, breaking stereotypes?
I love to break stereotypes. I love to surprise people because I'm blonde hair, blue-eyed girl. I look like every blonde hair, blue-eyed girl, but I take pride in the fact that I'm not like every other girl. I love sports. I want to pursue a career in sports. I speak Spanish, like what other blonde hair,
blue-eyed girl,
speak Spanish. did weightlifting. Like, I get along with the guys. Like, I don't know. I don't think, not to be the girl that says I'm not like every other girl, but like, I'm really not aren't. Like every other girl.
Yeah. No, I definitely have shared that. Like, you know, I'm not necessarily the kind of guy that's supposed to be into sports, but I am.
Yeah.
Or I'm not supposed to be into this kind of stuff, but I am. Like, I don't know. I love doing that just because it's like, I'm very much a proponent of don't judge a book by their cover.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's 2020. That's the thing. Like, everything's changing so fast and our world is becoming so much more inclusive that, like, it's like breaking stereotypes now isn't as...
It's expected that people break stereotypes.
And I like to be the force behind that. Like, if I can break a stereotype and inspire 17 other girls to do the same thing, like, you know, that's what I want to do.
And look, blonde hair, blue-eyed cheerleader. You also, didn't you get your AA in high school after you graduated? Yeah, I mean, like, and you're going to graduate in like 2.5 years or something like that?
Graduate at 20 years old.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's not something that I'm doing. That's not something a lot of people are doing. Yeah. So, props to you for that. But this is something that, like, I guess a negative detriment that comes with breaking stereotypes. And this is not the case of everybody.
Yeah.
But, like, for someone that's into, like, that does, like, I experience this, and this is why I bring it up now. And your experience might be totally different, and we'll get to that. But, like, because I was into so many different things, I never really had a true, like, friend group that was all into everything that I was into. Like, I have best friends, but I have best friends that will satisfy this part of my personality or that part of my personality. There's not one or two people that satisfy every part of my personality. So did you deal with similar things along those lines?
For sure. I have friends from home that I talk to every single day, but I have 3 friends from home that I talk to every single day, but they're all from different friend groups. So I have, like, a friend from cheer. I have my friend that I would hang out with on the weekends, or I have a friend that I was in school with, like, and they don't necessarily all mesh together, but, like, those are my best friends. And I guess I was lucky enough to have that relationship with my sister, because my older sister and my younger sister, when I lived home, it's a little different now because I don't see her very often, but they were my best friends that satisfied my personality just because we're so similar. We grew up together. But I wouldn't say, no, I definitely wasn't the one that had a million friends and everyone wanted to be my friend. I just had my 3 close friends, and if I just kind of did my own thing. I mean,
like, I had, the way I like to say it was, I valued quantity over quality. And that's not necessarily, like, a bad thing, but I had a lot of different friends in a lot of different places. And, like, when I was in high school, I know it's a little different, you and I, just because I'm 4 years out and you're 2 years out. But, I had friends in different areas.
Yeah.
But, like, so did you, like, struggle with that? You're like, oh my goodness, like, I don't have, like, my core.
Definitely. And I think that I still struggle with that. Like, me and my mom the other day were watching, Girls Trip, you know, the movie?
Yeah.
And they were, like, all best friends. And I was like, so I don't have a group of friends like that where we could all go on a trip together. And I'm like, and it sucks. Like, who are going to be the bridesmaids at my wedding? Like, that's something, you know, like, I obviously want everyone to get along. Like, but I don't know. Like, it's definitely something that
like, whenever you see your friend groups, like, merge, and they usually shouldn't merge, like, that's, like, kind of bizarre.
And especially when you're the middleman, you're like, I have to make sure everyone gets along. But, like, in reality, they're 2 completely different people. Like, you know? Yeah,
I mean, like, I've thought about that, too. Like, if I ever had a wedding, like, would my best men, like, all, like, they probably would be from so many different parts of my life. It'd be just so weird.
But I also think that's the beauty in having a...
That's true. Yeah. That's true. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, and there was time where, like, when I was in high school, it was quantity over quality. Then when I got to college, I wanted the opposite. Because it was like, you know, I want that, you know, close group of friends that I can go and I can travel with. But once I realized, like, once that friend group kind of went their own ways, it was like, I got no friends no more.
Yeah.
So I went back to my route that I went through in high school, and it worked out so much better for me.
Yeah.
Would you say that was similar for you?
I don't know. I just think it's so different because I have my sister. Like, I keep saying that, but, like, me and my sister are legitimately best friends. So, like, even when I feel like I don't have a friend, like, I go home and I'm like, oh, my best friend's at my house. Like, so I don't ever, like, I've definitely felt like, oh, I need these friends, like, I need to make best friends, and I need, like, more friends, you know, like, I want to have more friends, but, like, at the end of the day, like, I would rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies, you know? So
it's true. I mean, but hey, 100 pennies also gets you the dollar.
I guess, but I guess having true friends is better than just having surface friends, because you can get along with people and you can have genuine people, but how many people are you going to really let into your life? And that's like, I don't know. I'm a very to myself person, I would say. I have my couple friends that know a lot about me, but then I have other friends that are just kind of, you know who I am, we'll hang out, but you don't really know me. Yeah. You know?
But this is why we have these. Yeah. So we get to know each other better.
Yeah.
And I can say, you know, about 20 minutes in, I do know you a little bit more than I did 20 minutes ago. So, hey, we're making progress. So let's get started. Another question I love to ask people here. How did you get to this place right here? So how did you get to UCF? Why journalism? And then hitting the field. So let's start with UCF first, let's start with journalism first, because I think you were always someone that wanted to be journalism, right? So when did that desire spark for you?
I was in elementary school. In the first half of my 5th grade year, I was a safety patrol.
Oh, that safety patrol.
Safety patrol, wore the yellow belt and
What's
everything.
A fun safety patrol story?
Well, I used to go in the stairwells before school because I was a safety patrol, and everyone had to stay in the cafeteria and hang out, and I got to hang out in the stairwell with my friends, so that was fun. And we would like sneak between different stairwells.
Did you ever like slam a car door? Did you ever slam a kid's leg in the door or anything like that?
No.
Almost. Any weird stories with like that?
My sister was a safety patrol, and one time she went to open a door, and the guy driving the car drove away and broke her thumb. Oh. So that wasn't me. But I've never.
Yikes.
I hated safety patrol, and that's where I was going with this. Is halfway through my 5th grade year, I was like, all right, I don't want to be a safety patrol anymore, and I told the safety patrol leader, patroller. That I
don't want to be in safety patrol.
I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I was like, but I still get to school early because my mom has to work. So I'm going to join ENN, which was Eagle News Network, our elementary school news. Yeah. And I was an anchor. And
you just got to be the anchor right away?
I got to be the anchor right away.
Oh, look at you.
I was outgoing. It was me and the principal was the other anchor. So it was legit. Yeah. And then I got to do word of the day sometimes. That was fun.
What's the word of the day today?
Matison.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's a good word. Yeah, it's a real good word. I'm trying to test you on how like quick you are about things.
Well, this podcast is about me. So
yeah, that's true. Madison. Great answer. Great answer. I have no qualms with that answer. But yeah, keep going.
And then I was part of that and I loved it. I got to be on TV in the morning. It was awesome. And then in middle school, I was part of our school news there too. And that was just, I got to like take shifts like anchor, audio, like making the little PowerPoints, like stuff like that. And I loved that too. I was in it 7th and 8th grade. And then when I got to high school is when I really decided that I wanted to pursue it and do it for my career. Yeah. So my all-time favorite person in this world besides my mom and dad is my television production teacher
from high school.
Yeah. Her name's Miss Kane.
Shout out Miss Kane.
She's my best friend. I had her walked in there first day of freshman year and I loved it. It was so like she just made everything so fun. She's the coolest person I've ever met. Like has pictures on her wall walking a tiger with Michael Jordan. Like who else does that? And so I was always the one that a lot of people took that class because it was an easy A. Yeah. And I was the one that was like, okay, so let's go do a man on the street. Or let's go. Yeah, or like, nobody wants to be editor today, so let me edit. Yeah. And so I was always the one that was like enthusiastic about it. Yeah. And in my I was in it all 4 years. Yeah. My junior year, I dual enrolled and started working at the community college. To get my AA, but I made sure I went to school for that one class. Yeah. And I was there every day for an hour just so I could have Miss Kane and be in the class. And I actually started a little segment called Students Speak, which was my news like part of it, because it was more like
this is what's happening.
Basketball game later, which is awesome, but like what are the students saying? And I remember one story I did was they had a gravel lot on campus, which is like where some students could park, and it was gravel. And so I was kind of the country school of my county. Every county has that school.
Stewart.
Yeah. And so there were a lot of big trucks, and people would spin their tires and throw the gravel on other cars. So they closed that lot my junior year. Oh, wow. Which took away like 100 parking spots from students. So I went and I got their opinion about that. And then eventually I got opinions, faculty opinions, and eventually they opened it next semester. Wow. Because everybody was so
Look at you,
upset.
change maker.
And then my senior year, I was like, towards the last semester of my senior year, I was really upset. I was like, Miss Kane, like, I don't want to graduate. Like, I don't want to not be part of your class. And she was like, well, have you thought about taking it further? And I was like, I have, but like, I don't know how. Yeah. And she was like, well, do you want to do news? Or I was like, I don't know. News sometimes gets a little too sad for me. Like, she was like, well, what else are you passionate about? And I told her, I was like, I love sports. Like, I'm athletic. And she's like, so why don't you go into sports? And then, so she's kind of been my mentor, I guess, and helped me find the way I want to go. And I talk to her like very often. I see her when I'm home. And so I kind of went the sports route, just like with my background and stuff. And so that's how I got into journalism, how I got to UCF.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually somewhere I want to go into a little bit more, just because I love, like, that whole, like, I don't want to graduate. It's a feeling that we all have. It's because when you're in a grad year, you are like, oh, man, like, I gotta move on.
Next step.
It's the next step, and you get so comfortable where you are. It's just like I'm experiencing it right now. Like I'm 2 months till graduation, but like
that's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
I love this place. Like I don't want to graduate. Like the people here, like I feel like I'm finally like getting to my peak, and I feel like I have more to prove. Like, did you feel that too? Like, you're like, your senior year, like, I want to do better. Like, I want to do more stuff. And this is what I'm used to. Like, this is where I want to do the good stuff, where I want to improve, where I want to grow. Because you did so much of growing in that space.
I think that I definitely felt that. And it was mainly because I just was so connected to my community in Stewart. My parents both grew up there. They went to the same elementary school, middle school, high school as I did. And so everyone knew, like, oh, the littles, like, And my little sister was 2 years under me. Like, I was there, and I was a name at the school just because of sports and what I, like...
And, girl, you making change. You're getting that dirt lot. You're getting that parking lot open again.
I know. And it was just, like... I don't know, it was scary. Like, I was like, so I'm going to leave and I'm going to have to start all over and start this somewhere else.
Fear of the unknown.
And it's the scariest thing ever. But I don't know, I think I had such a good support system, and I knew that I could always go back, and I do go back probably too often. And I still go and I see Miss Kane. And
never too often to go and get support.
Yeah.
You can never have too much support.
Yeah.
That's what I see. And I mean, and I love that you brought up Miss Kane. Shout out to Miss Kane again. I hope she listened to this, because if she didn't, I'm just going to be shouting out air. So you better send this to her later.
I will. I send her everything.
But I love, high school educators. We have been a theme throughout a lot of these podcasts. Johnny was talking about it. Kayla was talking about it. You, and I think a lot, like the three of y'all, because y'all are the three of the younger people that have sat in that chair and been through a crew podcast. Y'all have it so much more, y'all are so much more closer to when you were still in high school. So it's like y'all still have that such, vivid memories of that in your high school. And it brings me back to like what I did in high school. And it was, and how important those people were for me at that time. Because high school is a very difficult time for everybody. People are going through so many different things, and those kind of people, high school teachers to me, are the ones that really, like everyone, every teacher, every educator, working with kids is one of the hardest things to do. I've, recognized that firsthand. But high school teachers especially have a strong spot in my heart, at least, just because they are dealing with transforming adults. Like at this point in high school, you're basically transforming into an adult. So you have to, there's a real time to where you can really mold them. And I think that most people's favorite teachers come from high school because that's when they're going through their most dynamic phase in life. Yeah. So, thank you for sharing that. That was a really cool part of the story so far. So let's get into UCF. I mean, obviously you have a sister here. I'm sure that played a role, but why, other than that, why UCF?
Well, my sister was the first person in my family to go to college, like extended family, everything.
So you're a first gen?
Yes. And I mean, my uncle went, but whatever.
He didn't graduate.
He's
Okay.
But
sorry, uncle.
She came here and she played softball here, so I was up here every weekend during softball season. Yeah. And we went to football games as a little family, and I just loved it. Little family. And I loved being up here. Yeah. And it's close enough to home. It's far enough from home.
Because it's like 2 hours?
Yeah, 2.5. And so it was like, okay, I can go away from home. I can be with my sister. I can live with my sister. Yeah. But I can go home if I need to go home. Right. And then I started thinking about programs. And I'm like, so I want to go into news. What path do I want to go? And then I was like, journalism program. And then I looked into the journalism program here, and it's a great program. And it just kind of sealed the deal for me. I mean, just having my sister and not being completely alone at a new school was like everything. But then having a journalism program that could satisfy and put me in the right place was...
Did you apply anywhere else?
No.
You were dead set UCF is where I'm going to be.
Well, I planned on applying other places, but once I got accepted here, I was like, all right, I'm not going to apply anywhere else. So
this was my number one. I'm here, and we're going to do this thing. That's cool. That's cool. So why hitting the field? How did you get here to hitting the field?
Hitting the field. First semester here, I was in second semester here, I was in Tim Brown's E&G class.
Dr. Brown, shout out Dr. Brown.
Dr. Brown's famous E&G class. Yep. And I was really stressed because I felt like I was behind and all this just wanted to be done, and I was 18 years old. And so I went to his office, and he pretty much told me, he was like, slow down, get involved in things. He was like, you're young, just take your time, get involved, meet people. And he put me in contact with Bree Sorensen.
Love Bree Sorensen. Shout out Brianna Sorensen. Ugh, I could go. I could have the rest of this podcast be just for Bree and just a love fest for her. But this is Matison Little's podcast, so we're gonna get back to her. But shout out Bree, love you. You're the best.
Yes, shout out Bree. So I had been talking to her, and I was like, because
she was still a student at the time.
Yeah, she was about to graduate. I think she was in her last semester. I was like, what should I be doing on campus? Because she was kind of going down the same path that I wanted to go down. And she was like, get involved with different clubs. She told me about hitting the field, gave me your phone number, and I texted you. And I was like, hi, I'm Matison. You don't know me, but I'm in hitting the field now. Sorry.
Yep. Sorry. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I'll be there on Friday. Yep. And then I got there on Friday, 2 days after I texted you. I was really nervous, and I walked in, and everyone was so nice. And then I was at the show Monday, and
the rest is history.
Yeah. I met some of my closest friends.
Yeah.
Hitting the field.
No, and that's the thing. And with Bree's the kind of person that will look out for you. And she did, and she didn't even know you. No. And I mean, my story with Bree and how I got to hitting the field is actually kind of similar to that one. I won't go to too much details for it. We'll save it for my crew podcast at the end of the semester. But no, Bree looks out for people. Yeah. And that's the thing with hitting the field is I feel like regardless of if you're the best of friends or whether you just see each other once a week, the people at hitting the field will look out for each other. And that's what I love about it, is that we understand that we're going through the same struggle, and we respect it out of each other, and we're always looking to better each other, not just ourselves. So that's the culture that I have strided myself upon. And it's people like Bree, like Jeremy Taché, like Meech, like Chris Davis, like Carl, like all those guys, that is the reason why the show is where it's at today. So that's what it's about.
Yeah,
and we're like celebrating 10 seasons. Yeah, it's a family, and that's why we've been on the air for 10 seasons. And I'm so glad to hear that. It makes me feel real good inside.
Good.
So, but let's play a quick little game. Let's play a game, okay? It's gonna be a rapid fire game. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of your favorite things, okay?
Okay.
Favorite color?
Pink.
Surprise. Favorite music artist?
Right now, I'm really into Billie Eilish.
Favorite Billie Eilish song?
Copycat.
Favorite food?
Chinese food.
What kind of Chinese food?
Or I don't know if it's Chinese or Asian food, but like orange chicken and lo mein.
Okay. Favorite TV show?
New Girl.
Favorite character on New Girl?
Nick.
Okay. Favorite movie?
That's a hard one. I like right now.
Yeah. Quick, rapid fire. Let's go.
I don't know.
All right, next. Favorite Disney movie?
Coco right now.
Favorite Disney character?
Cinderella.
Okay. Favorite sports team? Or favorite athlete? Yeah.
I like Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts. Did you watch a lot of Mookie Betts growing up, or?
Until honestly recently.
Yeah.
I just think that he's just a genuine guy. Like, I follow his Instagram and I'm like, oh, it's Mookie.
That's Mookie.
And I just think he's like so adorable.
What was did you have watching sports growing up? Like what were you watching growing up?
My dad is really into football, so I grew up watching football. He was a Chicago Bears fan. So
are you a Bears fan?
No.
No, it just didn't happen that way.
No, they just weren't good. Weren't up to my standards.
What are your standards?
I don't know, just a team that wasn't them when I was growing up.
Well, what's the closest team to you? Tampa?
Yeah.
Or Miami?
Miami, but I don't. Yeah.
Miami. You're not really a team person though. You're more of like a
seasoned person. I don't know. I like teams that are. I usually go for the underdog. So obviously not a team that's sucks, but
aren't the Bears an underdog? But you said they're not to your standards.
No, I just don't like them. Right now I like the Broncos for some reason.
The Broncos, AJ Boye, UCF alumni.
I
He's
think,
a Bronco now.
Yeah, Justin Simmons.
Justin
Simmons.
Simmons. Yeah.
Tristan's my age. He's his little brother. He graduated from county.
Okay.
So and just
Justin Simmons.
Yeah.
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Broncos country. Yeah. What was your hero moment, sports-wise, growing up? What's the one moment where you're like, yo, Madison Little did that?
Me, my
personal.
I think weightlifting.
All right, so what did you do in weightlifting?
My senior year, me and one other girl went to states for weightlifting. I won districts, I won regionals, and I went to states. And only 2 people from my high school went. And when I got there, you get 3 lifts. You get 3 benches and 3 clean and jerks. Yeah. And I dropped my first 2 benches, and I just went up in weight, and I got it. And then my clean and jerks, I dropped my first clean and jerk. It was just, the stress of the moment. Got my second clean and jerk. Got a new, PR for my third clean and jerk. And then
What was your PR?
For clean and jerk?
Yeah.
185.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
So then I got that, and I was expecting kind of not to really do very well going into it, and then I got 5th. So out of
5th out of everyone in the state?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So it was just kind of nobody had ever really placed at states before.
Yeah.
In from my school, so it was just kind of
yeah.
Go me.
Favorite sports memory watching growing up? Is there something that you were like, wow, that was so cool? That makes me want to go into sports kind of thing.
Going into cheer and stuff, like being in cheer. I used to watch the gymnastics Olympics.
Yeah.
And Gabby Douglas just kind of, I was like, wow, like I would love to be there and watch that. And that's like one of my goals as a sports reporter is to cover the Olympics. And that's honestly the reason why I would love to go watch the gymnastics part of it, like do all that. I would love to just be there for all these people making history.
Gymnastics at the Olympics, something else.
I know, it's crazy.
That's for whatever reason, like Olympics bring out excitement for other sports that usually don't get that attention throughout the year, but it's like, why? Like gymnastics is always this, I mean, maybe the stage of, you know, the best in the world makes it that much better, but like gymnastics as a whole, like, I mean, we're thinking about an Olympic year right now, but gymnastics at the Olympics has always piqued my interest, at least.
It's crazy. They're so good. Like, how do you take a girl that's 4'11"
and she can do all that?
Yeah, how does she fly 12 feet in the air, do 3 flips, and then land on her feet and look pretty while doing it? Like, that's crazy. Yeah.
Favorite is Gabby Douglas your favorite gymnast?
I like her, and I like Shawn Johnson.
Shawn Johnson.
Just because I like her little family.
Oh yeah, she does have a little. She's a daughter now, right? Yeah. That makes me feel so old.
Oh my god, it's the cutest.
Because Shawn Johnson was like, what, 16 when she was at the Olympics?
Yeah, I think so. She was young.
Oh my god, I kind of want to look this up now because, like, I remember Shawn Johnson at the Beijing Olympics, and she was like, oh my god. Yeah, she's 28. She was 16 at the Beijing Olympics. Now she's a daughter.
I follow their little family on, like, Facebook. Like, I like or watch all their videos. They're the cutest, and it's just, like, I really liked her. I think I go more personality for athletes. Like, if you can be good and have this title and still be a decent human being, like, love that for you.
Love that for you. So one thing that I'll pick up on, I think with you, like, you told me, like, I think it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, you told me you were class of 2018 from high school, and that shocked me. I thought you were more my age, and I'm 21. But, like, I think that, like, you're very mature for your age. Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
Why do you think that is?
Again, going back to my sister, this seems to be a common theme. She's 2 years older than me, so she's like she's your age. Yeah. And I was always close with her and her friends. So
you were hanging around people my age.
When I was always hanging around older people, and my parents are very, I won't say they're extremely strict, but they have high expectations, and that was not doing stupid things growing up like what the people my age were doing. So I was always with my sister and like just keeping out of trouble and just trying to do better for myself. I have high standards for myself. I have all these goals, and I think that requires maturity.
Was there a moment that where you finally understood that, like, oh, the people around me my age are not those kind of people, like, I need to be hanging out with these kind of people? Did you ever have a moment like that where, like, things hit like a low point for you and you like dug yourself out of a hole?
I think that my junior year of high school, I love my friends from home. Like, my friends are closer from home, are closer to my age, but there's 3 of them. And I just felt like everybody in my age group was so focused on, let's go to this party, or let's go here, let's go to this concert. And I was
Were you like always like that?
I think, yeah. I mean, I definitely, like, I had my phases, like, when I would go out with my friends and have fun, but I was always, all right, school first, sports first. I have goals for myself. I've always known that I have goals for myself, and I've always set goals for myself, so. And,
like, why do you think that is? Like, is there someone that you think, like, inspired you to be that way, or? My
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom.
Talk about mom.
My mom is my twin, like, just older.
Yeah.
I don't know, she's always done really well for me and my family, and no matter, like, how hard things got, she always was able to provide and never really said no to us. And I just admire that, and I want to be able to do that for my family. And she is...
So she was your big role model growing up.
She still is my big role model. She...
what does she do for work?
She's a real estate broker and office manager. So she just has, like, this headstrong mentality that...
Like, get business done.
Like, yeah, like, even though I'm a woman, like, I'm going to be the breadwinner of the family. I mean, she's not, but she has that mentality that she is. Like, her and my dad make an equal income, but she's like, all right, well, I'm in charge. Like, I'm the head woman in this. Like, I don't know. She's just very headstrong and very stubborn in the fact that she's not going to give up on something. And I just admire her for that a lot.
Yeah. Is there a time in your life that you think that you relied on your mom? Like maybe when you faced adversity in something, and it can be something like, you know, while you were here, or it can be something, you know, while you were living at home. But what's like a time where you faced adversity? And you can go in as much into detail or as very little as detail. It's your story. I want you to be comfortable with what you're saying. So go into as much detail or as little detail in a moment in your life when you faced adversity and you were able to overcome it.
Going into my senior year of high school, that summer, I was hanging out with a group of people that wasn't the best group of people to have myself surrounded by.
Yeah.
And I found myself doing things that I probably shouldn't have been doing and just hanging with people I probably shouldn't have been hanging with. And on my first day of my senior year, I got in trouble. And my mom was really mad at me, and I remember I was like, okay, well, seeing my mom so upset with me because we were so close was like something that really like hit home with me.
Yeah.
And I just right then I like just relied on her, and I was like, I'm sorry, like, can you help me like be a better person?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like seeing her that upset but still being able to rely on her when I was so confused about things, like it was just kind of,
because you want to impress those people. Like, and I have this big thing that I really want to impress people.
Me too.
Like, I have this, like, I want to, I want to not necessarily, like, be the center of attention, but I want to stand out. I don't want to be just some, you know, I don't just want to be some random stick.
Fly on the wall.
Yeah, I want to be the fly. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to be a fly on the wall. I want to be Queen Bee.
Yeah.
I don't want to be some random bee in the beehive. I want to be Queen Bee. So I think that, and I'm with that with a lot of people. People that are, quote unquote, above me in the hierarchy, people that are below me in said hierarchy. I'm always not, like, this has a negative connotation to it, but I hope that my explanation makes sense. Like, a people pleaser. You want to please people.
Yeah, I think every single person, whether they admit it or not, wants to please people. And I definitely find myself sometimes trying too hard to please people. Like, sometimes I'll do things that don't necessarily make me happy because it'll please someone. Yeah. And so that's kind of where that negative connotation comes from, I think.
In a way, but you're putting other people before yourself. And there's a time when, you know, there is a time when, you know, putting yourself above people, above others can be detrimental.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, you need to, like, the way I see things is life is nothing without the people around you. Yeah. But also, if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't help the people around you.
I think that all comes with who you choose to be the people around you.
Yes.
And having that support system, because if you're surrounded by all these people that are negative or toxic and you're putting them above you, like, what are you really doing for yourself?
Right.
But if you're surrounded by a group of people that support you and want you to succeed, then are you ever really putting yourself above them?
And that's why HTF works.
Yes.
Because we want that for everybody. It's like, if I eat, everybody eats. Yeah. If Matison eats, I eat. Like, it's that kind of thing. So that's why you've been here, and that's why you've lasted, and it's why you're an integral part to Hitting the Field. Even if you I know you've been very busy lately, but you're doing big things. So talk about, like, the big things that you're doing currently right now.
Currently?
Yeah.
Right now I have 2 internships. I'm taking 3 classes, and I just have, like, all these different goals that I've set for myself for this semester that I'm putting above everything. And so I intern at WESH, which is the
WESH 2 News, NBC affiliate in Orlando.
I intern there as a news intern. I'm there 2 days a week. I have an internship with the American as the Campus Connect reporter.
The American Athletic Conference, formerly held with Brener Sorensen, who works still in the American Athletic Conference. So you never know what that could lead to.
I have a Spanish minor, which I recently just dropped from a major because
You're busy.
Yeah, I'm busy.
You're busy,
That's
girl.
literally the explanation.
Yeah, like, but you're a go-getter. And that's why I asked you to do that, because I want everyone to know that you are one. Mm-hmm. And that's probably what I admire about you the most, is you're always looking to get to the next step.
Yeah.
You're never complacent. You're never too comfortable.
Never satisfied.
You're never, I mean, I think you should be satisfied.
Yeah, but there's always this...
But you're thinking about the next step.
Yeah.
But I think you should be content, and you should be happy with what you've accomplished so far. Because at the age that you are, you've accomplished a lot. Yeah. You've accomplished a lot for people that are 5 years older than you, 10 years older than you. So 5-10 years down the line, where do you hope Matison Little is?
My goal 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to be, what, 20 again?
No, I'll be like 25.
25?
I just hope that I'm somewhere where I'm doing what I want to do. I know that in this industry you have to start at a smaller market and kind of work your way up most of the time. Mm-hmm. But I hope that
be on that ladder.
Yeah. I hope that 5 years from now I'm closer to where I want to be. My end goal is to be a team reporter for a sports team, whether it be baseball or football. Mm-hmm. Whatever. I just want to be a team reporter for that team. Yeah. And so I'm hoping that even if it's not NFL or MLB, like I hope I'm a team reporter 5 years from now. So that way it's just, I know that I'm heading in the right direction. Yeah. Because I just, like I said, I have goals for myself, and that's, I have a timeline for myself, which is crazy, but I do, and that's part of it. That's
on the timeline. Mm-hmm. So we're about to wrap things up here. But I want to give you the chance to, this is I want you to give any shout outs you want to give. It can be people that we've mentioned before. It can be people that we haven't mentioned yet that you feel are worthy of a shout out. Like people that have come into your life that have been very inspirational and have guided you to where you are today. So the mic is yours.
Every person I've mentioned today has been a female, like my mom, my sisters,
except for Dad.
Miss Kane. Yeah, but that's who I want to shout out more is my dad. Mm-hmm. My dad is the number one supporter of everything me and my sisters do. Mm-hmm. He's my biggest cheerleader. He reposts every single thing I post, anything that has to do with me. He texts me every day, just have a good day, and it's just he's been the person that is always backing me no matter what, and it's just that he's probably
that's awesome,
my biggest fan, and
that makes me feel real happy. Yeah. Is there someone in the way I like to say it is your given family and your chosen family? So who's someone in your chosen family that you think has really helped you out? I mean, you mentioned Miss Kane, but is there anyone else possibly, or it could be Miss Kane. If you want to double shout out Miss Kane, you can do so. Or
I always double shout out Miss Kane, but I think that someone that is there for me a lot, and I don't really tell them very often, is Natalie. Honestly, Natalie is my best friend in this program. We do everything together. She's just always there to help me, and I'm always there to help her. So I think that having a friend in this program and having someone that you can lean on. It's important. It's really important. She's been that person for me. So shout out Natalie.
Shout out Natalie.
She's stressing over a package right now. So shout out Natalie.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. And the way I see it is this: you and I are family because we're in Hitting the Field together. And anyone that's in your family, it's wow, I think Miss Kane's the coolest person in the world too.
She is the coolest person ever. I'm gonna make her come here and meet everyone.
Yeah, I kind of want to meet her. I was talking about it on the last podcast. I got to see Chris's mom the day after we did our, or a couple days after we were talking to him with Chris, and Chris was talking to his mom, and I was like, I can't wait to meet your mom. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so much fun.
I think everyone can't wait to meet Chris Wolf's mom because Chris Wolf's just
fantastic.
Awesome. So she must be awesome.
Shout out Stacy.
That's my mom's name too.
Yeah, shout out Stacy Little. It was just but it really gets me excited. I love and that goes again with the quality versus quantity thing. It's the more people, for me, it's the more people I can have in my corner, the better. And it's so nice to see that. And I really put an emphasis on admiring those people and really thanking them and appreciating them more. Because, and you mentioned your dad, girl dad, full through. Three girls.
3 girls.
And, and like with Kobe, like we still think about Kobe. And you never know when it's just all going to come to an end.
Yeah.
And you want to go through life and not have any of those regrets. And you want to know that you had people in your corner and you want them to know that you did. Because it's like, as weird as this sounds, like when you go out of the world, you kind of want to go out like Kobe did.
Yeah.
With people having a memorial for him a month from now, people flying all over the country for him,
yep.
the internet breaking, like that's a cool way to go out. I mean, I know it was way too premature and you would obviously rather have him here, but like
just leaving an impact on the
exactly.
world like that
leaving
is
an
just something that everyone
is priceless.
Yeah.
And you do that first with the people in your current circle, and then you work your way up when you work your way up. And I'm sure, Matison, that you are going to leave that impact, because I think that so. I think you're way on your way. You've got a good head on your shoulders. I can't wait to see what you do. You're gonna go into that world a little bit right after me, and we're gonna
maybe
kill
one
it.
day we'll find ourselves working.
You never know.
Hey,
together. You never know, because you never know. And we're always here to help. I'm here to help you if you ever need anything. And I just want you to know that you mean a lot to me.
Thank you.
Everyone at Hitting the Field means a lot to me. So thank you for coming today, sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. You can check this episode out on Apple Podcasts, on Buzzsprout, our hosting platform, and YouTube, our YouTube channel. So go subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. You can check out weekly episodes of Hitting the Field every Monday at noon. We will not be on the air this upcoming week. It is spring break. So no episode this Monday. But when we come back from spring break, March 16th, we will have our hour-long March Madness preview special hosted by Kyle Partain. So you can go and check that out then. Might I add, with Kayla Burge to talk basketball. That will be up sometime this week as well. And we have the Hitting the Field podcast, which will air tomorrow. We have Mock Draft 2.0. So we'll break down the mock draft for the NFL draft, which is coming up in 7 weeks. We are 7 weeks away. And we will have on April 23rd, the Hitting the Field draft show, the season 10 draft show, where we dive deep. We are the supplemental commentary show for the NFL draft, so be sure to check that out on April 23rd at 8 p.m. And that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Matison, for joining me. And until we'll catch you on the flip side.
Let's go get some food.
Yeah.